Well, it's a cold, rainy, crappy day, but we got something planned for the C8 Corvette Z06 today, and it rhymes with the front splitter. We are finally getting rid of the Segala setup and going with the RSC on the front splitter and dive planes. I'm going to show you guys all the differences in quality and the install right now. All right, guys, so like I said there in the beginning, we are replacing the front splitter on the C8 Z06 with the Racing Sport Concepts front splitter and dive planes. This is their first set from what I understand, so the dive planes and stuff aren't even on their website as of filming this, but they should be on there very soon. So if you want to get something like this for your car, check out RSC, use HPO 10, save 10%, and that's on pretty much all of their carbon fiber. And I'll tell you, without a doubt, this is some high quality carbon fiber. We're gonna look at the differences here shortly, but I did want to address something that came up recently, and it is kind of the happenings or the issues with Segala right now. So I was emailed a copy of something that Alex posted on Facebook talking about some of the problems happening over there at Segala, and yeah, it doesn't sound good. So if you have ordered anything with Segala, Alex is recommending that you cancel that order and file a chargeback on your credit card. This is unfortunate because whenever I got my stuff from Segala, it was pretty good. For the price, it's pretty good. Obviously, I'm going with RSC on everything on the car because it is a higher quality carbon fiber, but you are going to pay more for it. So if you want as high quality as you can get, RSC is it. If you want to stay on the lesser side of expensive, Segala was it. Just wanted to kind of head that up because I know it has been an issue for some people, but let's move on to the quality differences here, guys, because you've already seen the spoiler, you've already seen the diffuser, you've already seen the side skirts. Now we got the splitter and the dive planes, and we still have some more stuff from them to come. So stay tuned for that, but check out this quality. So for those of you who are not familiar with the spoiler and the diffuser that we recently did with RSC, I'm going to give you a real quick shot here of the quality of this thing, and it is absolutely unreal. The weave on these parts, the layout, it is all just absolute perfection. Now, if you look at the spoiler, the stanchions, which mine are actually 2-inch risers, so they're a little bit taller than usual, but I mean, the quality of the carbon is perfect, and it also is center weaved right here, just like GM's carbon, only they don't have the browning problem of GM's carbon. So even the diffuser from RSC is the same kind of thing. Absolute perfection as far as the weave is concerned. The color is perfect. It looks absolutely awesome. The side skirts, same thing from RSC, looking, again, absolutely perfect. And they are full length side skirts. So a little different than what you would normally get. So here is the front splitter from RSC, of course, looking just as perfect as the rest of their parts. The dive planes over here we're going to go over in a second because these compared to the Segala ones are massively different, and not just for quality, but even build purposes, very different. But look at that, oh, the quality of that weave of carbon fiber, man. RSC has freaking nailed it. And of course, just like everything else with RSC, we get the incredible documentation right off the bat. So this is one of those things that is just so nice and so professional to see. Does it add to the quality of the parts? Of course not, but at the same time, you know you are getting something quality when you get this in the mail. When you open it up, it's going to give you all kinds of your typical stuff we've talked about before. It's going to give you, number one, the instructions here on cardstock with color photos, which is by itself really awesome. But then you also have the certificates of authenticity. So mine, obviously I have 2 here because I have the splitter and the dive planes. But I mean, just look at the quality of this. I mean, the gold leaf up here at the top, this feels like a rubberized cardstock. And then on the other side, again, some more gold leaf stuff. If I were to ever go to sell any of this stuff, I could give them this as a way of them knowing for sure that this is, in fact, a Racing Sport Concepts part and not just some knockoff. So again, really nice to have. Of course, I file these away, keep them with all my other car stuff, but it's really nice to have stuff like that for a car that costs this much. And another quality comparison here while we have them off the car is the RSC dive plane compared to the Segala dive plane. So the Segala weave, the more you move it around, kind of starts to get real messy right up there towards the top especially. Plus it has more of a goldish appearance to it. where the RSC is very black, gray. And if you look at the actual attachment points especially is where you start to see things really break down on the Segala unit here. That's Segala, and that's RSCs. So just a higher quality, more tighter tolerance, really a nice piece. But the biggest thing is the thickness of it. So RSCs is pretty thin and it comes to a point, almost like a blade. The Segala one is just a flat, thick surface, not really great for aero. So it's not going to cut through the air the way you want these dive planes to. So technically, we could go as far as say that the RSC is going to be better performance too. Looks better, better performance, and I can tell you by weighing or feeling these things in my hand, they're lighter. And luckily for you guys, I stole my wife's food scale, because that's the only scale I have that will actually weigh the difference in such small numbers. So let's see which one weighs more. So first, just to ensure that the scale is working, we'll see. Mountain Dew can, more than half empty, 4.6 ounces. She's working. So for real though, we're zeroed out. Here is the Segala unit. We're at 15.4 ounces. So let's see the RSC unit. RSC, yep, 10.4. So literally 5 ounces less. Now I know. 5 ounces isn't exactly breaking the freaking world record on weight savings here, but it all adds up. And that's 5 ounces per side, by the way.
5 ounces, 40 horsepower.
Now guys, I am going to give credit where credit is due. The Segala pieces on this car have been very good for me. I have had no issues with their kit. Their quality to price ratio is pretty good, but at the end of the day, you guys are buying a $150,000 car plus. I would always err on the side of caution and get the better quality stuff. Now, you might be asking yourselves at this point, Justin, if RSC or Racing Sport Concepts is so good, why didn't you use them to begin with? Well, that's a great question, and the answer is they didn't have this stuff whenever I needed it. They have only recently started making the kit for the C8 Z06, and the Z07 kit and everything that they're making is fantastic. I've only recently found out about it. Whenever I first got the car, Segala was it. There are some other parts out there that you can add to your car to make the Z07 kit, and none of them have come to the quality that RSC has. I'm telling you guys. If you need to see it on my car to believe me, you are more than welcome to do that. This kit is the best quality that I have seen yet. Yeah, it's that good. All right, so first step here, guys, we're gonna get the car up in the air. What I'm gonna do, I kind of angled it in here in the garage in a way. We're gonna get the front up on the race ramps. It is too cold and too crappy outside to put this car up on any kind of official lift. So we're gonna do it under the race ramps. This is just a way for you guys to know you can definitely do this yourself. This is a do-it-yourself kind of thing. The splitter on the Z06 is not as easy to get off as it was on the Stingray, but it's not super difficult either. So let's get this thing up on the race ramps. After you take out some of the screws, that panel will slide out from underneath the side skirt, revealing all of your leaves and rocks. You can sell these. You can sell the leaves and rocks on eBay.
Very valuable.
Very valuable.
On the black market.
Okay, so with the side panel off, you can then start getting access to the center panel here. You got a couple T15s in the front, but up underneath here, there are 7mm screw heads that you'll have to remove. And then that whole center panel will come out as well. So after the center panel is removed, we can come underneath the car and you can see there's still a little bit of an aero panel here that has some 7mm screws
inside there,
up recessed underneath.
There's 8 of them.
There's 8 of them. So once we remove all those, that panel will come out as well, giving us access to the back side of the splitter here. After the 8 screws are out, you can slide the panel back and down and get some more leaves and rocks for free. So with all the panels off the bottom, guys, we're going to be focusing on these screws. This is a 7mm, all the way down. This is inside the splitter facing outside of the car. But you can see these little push clips here. And those have to come off too. So on the top, you can just press them in and then push down, and each one will pop off. So we're going to get all the 7mm bolts off first, and then the clips as well. So after those are off, we'll start working on the dive planes, which are going to be really fun, I bet. But let's get the splitter off first. So this is pretty much what you got to do to get these 7mm out. You really need a ratcheting wrench. There's not a lot of room in there. You're not going to get any kind of power tools into it. It's going to take a minute. And look at that. He's obviously enjoying his time here. So, so with all the screws out, next step is the clips here. Now, one of mine in there is white. Yours will all be black. That's a replacement one. So go ahead and show us, Dana, how we're going to remove these things.
They go down, right?
Yeah, so you push a little screwdriver or something into it, and then you can push the clip itself down like that.
Yep, and it fell out, and it's right here.
It fell out.
Shot out.
All right, so that's what we're going to be doing with all these clips, and then after that, we're ready to remove this splitter.
Wear safety glasses.
Yeah, if you're under a car, you always should, because there's a lot of rocks and stuff on there.
Don't do what we do.
All right, so we got all the screws out, all the clips out. We can kind of grab here now and start pushing it out towards the front. It is not just going to slide right out because it's kind of clipped in there, but you'll kind of see what, yeah, as he's pulling on it, you'll see it kind of release.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
I heard something drop.
Yeah, it could have been one of those metal clips. We'll put it back.
Yeah, nothing broke.
Oh, it's a stone right there.
Lots of rocks, but that's ultimately how they come off. The way that they slide into the pockets here on the splitter, or the front bumper, I guess, like you can see how tight that is. It goes in tight. So these could honestly be on there without screws and you probably wouldn't have any issues. But this is definitely heavier than the RSC. Let's weigh it. The passenger side of the splitter, 19.8. All right, so the passenger side Segala piece, 28.9 ounces. So that's roughly 10 ounces more than the RSC. We are saving all kinds of weight here. So yeah, Brandon's garage, you gotta check this out, man. This is gonna save you a ton of weight. All right, so centerpiece is a lot easier to get out apparently. Dana's got it accidentally half removed. Yep. There it is. All right, let's weigh the center too, because wow, yeah, these are significantly heavier. I can feel the difference here. So you can kind of see on the inside too. This one is definitely more fiberglass with a layer of carbon fiber over it, whereas RSC stuff is all carbon fiber through and through. So definitely just another reason, but let's weigh the center piece here. Center is 27.4. 17 for the RSC. So that's 10.4 more ounces for the Segala stuff. And I mean, the difference is actually really apparent. It's funny, you wouldn't think that a couple ounces would make that much of a difference, but that's a lot heavier. Here's an interesting shot of the car with only one dive plane and no splitter. Very interesting. These dive planes are really only held in with 3 of those plastic clips and 1 bolt at the end. So interesting to see this thing without it. Look at these holes. These things were interesting, scary to drill. All right, so with the clips out, these come out pretty easily. You just kind of slide them right out. Look at those. Yeah, I don't know. Segala stuff, like I said, it is what it is. But if you guys are okay with it, this is for sale.
That ain't too bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not as high quality as the RSC stuff. RSC dive plane, obviously not a huge problem here, but you can just kind of line up the holes, push it in. It's going to kind of favor the same stock holes. All right. Those are tight, but once we pop the clips in the back, it will kind of hold it tight against the body. All right, so we got the driver's side dive plane installed and the passenger side. I'm not going to tell you how long that took because it was, I think, 4 clips per dive plane, and they're not super easy to get in there. Ask Dana. How do your fingers feel, Dana?
They're numb.
All right, so guys, we got the RSC splitter in. Pretty much the opposite of disassembly. It slides into a groove along the top here. You kind of pop it into place. But we haven't even put the screws in between here yet. And look how tight the gap is on the RSC. It looks a lot more professional. I mean, I know I keep harping on quality here, but it's this kind of stuff that really makes it next level. Also, I do want to kind of touch on the fact that this is not super duper easy to get on. you do need to line it up and take it off and line it up and take it off and figure it out. You pretty much need at least 2 people to do this. So a lift would be recommended. And honestly, if it was nicer outside, I would have been using a lift down at Blackout Tinning. But it's like 30 degrees outside and doing nothing but rain, so race ramps it is. We got everything in place here. So all of the RSC carbon fiber is now on the Z06. We got a couple other pieces we need to replace here soon, but I'm told by the owner, Bill, over at RSC, we will be getting to that very soon. So stay tuned to see what that is, because it is a couple new pieces, as well as replacing the last bit of the Segala stuff, which is, of course, the boomerangs on the door or the intake area here. These are still Segala. These will be RSC very soon. So now we got an RSC spoiler, diffuser, side skirts, mirror caps, the dive planes, and the carbon fiber splitter. So it's looking good. The splitter is a little bit involved. It does take a minute, but it looks a massive amount better. I mean, look at that. Way higher quality stuff. All right, guys, so that's really going to do it for today's video. I wanted to get this splitter done. I've been wanting to do it for a little while now. I know I'm just going to keep harping about the quality, so you guys get it. I think this is kind of where you want to be with a car this expensive, in my opinion. I would definitely always highly recommend RSC Racing Sport Concepts for stuff like this. Whether you have a Stingray, a Z06, it doesn't really matter. You're getting really good quality stuff here. Now, if any of you out there are interested in the Segala splitter, I will be selling it. If you guys want it, let me know. The splitter, the dive planes, and I even have the side skirts and the mirror caps to go with it. The only thing I don't have is the Z07 spoiler. So if you're interested in this stuff, let me know. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so we can keep creating this stuff for you. I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 more pieces of carbon fiber on the exterior from RSC, and then that's going to pretty much do it for the exterior. It will be done, finally. And it's done in really an OEM plus kind of way. So OEM quality, OEM look for the most part, without the brown tint to the carbon fiber. So this stuff is looking really, really freaking good. I'm really, really impressed with the RSC stuff. I know I say it all the time. I know I said it a bunch in this video, but guys, it really, really looks good. Anyway, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'm going to have tons of content like this coming you're not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, stay obsessed.